Well, thank you, Toby, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak with you today. Firstly, let me comment on Tim, who spoke earlier, on why government should invest in the North. And let me say, I strongly agree with what Tim said there, but I believe we're not looking at an either or scenario here. So I would like to outline what I believe is another key priority for government, which is the Oxford-Cambridge arc. and let me explain why. So turning to the National Infrastructure Commission report and some statistics. This corridor, the Oxford-Cambridge corridor, is a world leader in life science, and I think that's a well-known fact. But not only that, it is also a leader in other areas. Cranfield, for example, is a world leader in aerospace engineering and autonomous vehicles. It has 200 postgrad researchers. They're researching into propulsion, aeronautical engineering, intelligent automation, and autonomous systems. We have two of the world's leading universities. And this enterprise, East-West, is not about enabling the dons of Oxford to sip cocktails with their counterparts at Cambridge. It's about the economy. There are 175,000 businesses that are based on this corridor, and they support 1.6 million jobs. The ARC is a massive, massive contributor to the UK economy. It is the most productive, successful and innovative corridor in the UK, and it houses some amazing companies and enterprises. Let me give you some examples. Cambridge has 20 times the national average in terms of patents in electronics, technology and bioscience. Milton Keynes is the hub for high-tech engineering, with many Formula One companies based around Milton Keynes and leading financial services providers. The productivity rates in Milton Keynes are 25% higher than the UK average. Oxford is a world leader in the field of life sciences. But the corridor is being held back, and that is a threat, not just to the corridor, but to the UK economy as a whole. And it's primarily being held back because housing is insufficient and expensive. Typically in Oxford, the house price to salary ratio is 13:1, and in Cambridge it is 12:1. There is poor connectivity between Oxford, Milton Keynes and Cambridge. Taking those two facts together, that creates a risk to our economy, a risk that these cutting edge companies will move overseas so they can attract and retain good staff. Let's look at the GDP figures. Despite the constraints that I've just mentioned, the economic predictions without the investment on East-West and Associated is that the corridor can contribute 176 billion per annum to the UK economy. But the minute you add in the East-West Rail project and you add in the road improvements and the associated housing, that contribution increases to 254 billion per annum. And the latest figures coming out from government demonstrate that even that is an underestimate. So stepping back and thinking about this, a 5 billion investment in rail, plus the associated investment in roads and housing and infrastructure, help drive 75 billion per annum increase in the GDP. A one-off investment of 5 billion, driving an annual uplift of 75 billion. Now, I guess it could be argued that the effect of COVID on rail patronage over the past few months threatens the viability of any rail project. This corridor is very different. With its focus on life science and with it leading the battle against this virus and other viruses, the argument for investment becomes even more compelling, not less. So let's look in a bit more detail now at the route. East West Rail connects 3 economic centres: Oxford, Milton Keynes and Cambridge. It connects them with each other, and it connects them with a number of significant towns in between. And what we're looking to do here is to create an arc of growth right across the country. What will the railway do? It will enable people to get around quicker, cheaper, and in a more sustainable manner. It will connect people, connect them to jobs, connect homes, connect families. It will connect businesses with their employees, with their suppliers, and with their customers. It will facilitate housing development, which will ease pressure on wages as people can afford to live and work in the corridor. That means businesses can create more productive jobs. Now, I understand, like everyone else, that a government agenda is to spread prosperity more widely across the UK beyond London. Let me make it clear, this is beyond London. It might not be Manchester, but Cambridge is 60 miles north of London. So the case for this project is very strong indeed. So how are we progressing? As some of you know, when I was Managing Director of Chiltern Railways, we introduced services between Oxford and London. This includes Bicester, the fastest growing small town in Europe. The railway generated that. It serves Bicester Village, a famous shopping centre, which is the #1 destination outside London for all visitors from the Far East, and again contributes hugely to our economy. We have Atkins, Lango Rourke and Volker working actively now on the next section, and that includes the part where we cross over HS2 at Calvert, and we've developed a joined-up programme that works for all. We're spending time speaking to, and more importantly, listening to stakeholders across the route. We're talking to businesses, local enterprise partners. We're talking to academic institutions. We're talking with national and local government. We're talking to local communities. And of course, we are listening to potential users to establish how do they travel? How would they choose to travel? How often will they choose to travel? How will they access stations and facilities on the stations? What will they want from those station facilities? How will they handle what we call the last mile, travelling to and from the station? And how can we design our stations that enable that last part of the journey or first part of the journey to be done in a sustainable manner? How do they want to optimise their time when they are travelling? What facilities do we need to provide to enable that? And of course, how can they access the best possible information, whether that's at home, at the station, or whilst on the train? We're working hard on the Bedford-Cambridge section. We've already conducted non-statutory consultation where we've got out and met many people who live and work along the route. We've conducted initial surveys and we're doing geospatial modelling. And we've come up with what is the optimum route. And we've taken into consideration doing that, firstly, the best social and economic outcomes, cost-effective delivery, and last but not least, the environmental impact. So here is our preferred route. It serves Bedford Midland with an interchange to the Midland Main Line. It enables a potential development area between St Neots and Sandy. It serves Cambourne, which is a growing development outside Cambridge. It will serve the Cambridge Biomedical Campus just to the south of Cambridge, where Network Rail is already developing its plans for a new station, Cambridge South. And of course, we serve Cambridge. So in the new year, we will start our formal consultation, but we are already taking soundings and we developed the East West Rail Hub. This is the detail of our hub. The website is there. I do encourage you to go on it and have a look. We've gone way beyond the normal statutory consultation process. We spent time on our hub trying to establish what people want. Importantly, we're establishing what puts people off rail travel. So how can we provide the right service and facilities to meet needs and aspirations? This considerable piece of work will help inform our work on the final alignment through 2021. And that will enable us to make the DCO Development Consent Order application in 2022. So now let me give you an indication of the programme thereafter. And let me stress, this is indicative at the moment. So at present, we are working with ARUP, and we are moving into a period of market engagement. And some of you will have already contacted us as we are looking to bring on board our development partners. We're looking for our technical partner, a programme partner, commercial partner, and land and property partners. And that will take us through the DCO process and into construction. After that, we want to bring on board our asset delivery partner, or partners as it may be, to build it. We're going to build it quicker, we're going to build it cheaper, and we're going to deliver a better railway. And then finally, I'm looking at the concept of an enterprise delivery partner. This is to enable us to build a long-term relationship so that we can align incentives and make sure we work with our partner to deliver one of the most customer-focused and reliable railways in the world. So to close, let me steal the words either of a current or possibly a former US president. Together with our supply chain partners, let us make railways great again. Thank you very much for listening.